Have you ever paid attention to this subtle pattern? The more effort you pour into trying to spark a conversation, the quicker it seems to fade. You walk up, open with a polite, "Hey, how are you?" And within moments, the energy collapses. Yet someone else enters that exact same space, speaks only a handful of calm words, and suddenly the room shifts. People angle their bodies toward them. They listen more closely. It is not about humor. It is not about physical appearance. There is something far more powerful happening beneath the surface. When they speak, their voice carries substance. Today I am going to share 6 phrases that naturally draw people in and create lasting impact. Stay with me, because the 4th one is often misinterpreted, and once you truly understand it, you will notice an immediate change in how others react to you. The core principle rooted in Stoic philosophy is simple: authentic presence outweighs performance every time. The Stoics grasped this truth centuries ago. Influence is not built by speaking endlessly, it is built by speaking deliberately. Fewer words, deeper intention. These phrases are not manipulation tactics or social gimmicks. They are expressions of character. They reflect genuine curiosity, emotional steadiness, humility, empathy, appreciation, and strong personal boundaries. Each one reveals who you are rather than trying to impress others. And now, let us begin. The first phrase is powerful in its simplicity. Tell me more about that. Just 4 words, yet they unlock doors that most people never even notice. When someone shares an experience, most listeners immediately redirect the conversation toward themselves. They compete, they interrupt, they shift the spotlight back to their own story. The ego cannot resist the urge to be seen. But when you respond with, "Tell me more about that," and then remain quiet, you create something rare in modern conversation. Undivided attention. You offer space instead of competition. People rarely remember you because you entertained them. They remember you because they felt valued in your presence. They felt heard, understood, and important. That emotional imprint lasts far longer than clever words ever could. The next phrase contains only 3 words, yet it instantly distinguishes authentic confidence from fragile insecurity. I do not know. These 3 words require more strength than most people realize. When faced with a question outside your knowledge, the natural impulse is to protect your image. You may try to sound intelligent, give a vague response, or speak in abstractions that conceal uncertainty. But people sense hesitation. They detect when someone is pretending. Trust quietly erodes. Now imagine someone who calmly says, "I do not know," without embarrassment, without over-explaining, without defensiveness. That kind of clarity signals inner stability. Socrates embodied this principle, understanding that wisdom begins with acknowledging limits. True learning starts where arrogance ends. Ironically, when you stop trying to appear knowledgeable, people begin to respect your words more deeply. Your honesty becomes magnetic. Another phrase that transforms interactions is this: "That sounds difficult." When someone shares a painful experience, stress from work, the end of a relationship, a personal setback, most people instinctively jump into problem-solving mode. They offer advice before understanding. They compare stories. They unintentionally minimize the emotion. Even with good intentions, it can feel dismissive. Instead, when you say, "That sounds difficult," you are not attempting to fix anything. You are not diminishing their struggle. You are acknowledging reality. Stoic strength is not emotional coldness. It is disciplined compassion. It is the ability to remain steady while offering understanding. By validating someone's experience, you create psychological safety. You allow them to breathe, to process, to feel without being judged. That kind of grounded empathy builds deep connection. And now we arrive at the point where most people struggle, because it confronts one of our greatest social fears: silence. Before we go further, if these reflections resonate with you and you want to keep developing this kind of quiet strength, Consider subscribing to Stoic Thoughts. It may seem like a small action, but it supports the growth of this community and allows us to continue walking this path of self-mastery together, one intentional step at a time. The fourth principle is not even a phrase. It is silence itself. Yes, silence. The moment a conversation pauses, many people feel discomfort rise inside them. They rush to fill the gap with unnecessary words, forced humor, random stories, anything to escape the stillness. But silence, when embraced calmly, communicates confidence. It signals that you are not desperate for approval. It shows that you are comfortable with yourself, and that comfort is powerful. Many people assume that when a conversation becomes quiet, something has gone wrong. They interpret stillness as awkwardness, as social failure. In reality, silence can be a display of inner stability. Observe someone who is truly comfortable in their own skin. They do not rush to fill every pause. They allow space between sentences. They speak with intention rather than urgency, and when they finally say something, the room naturally pays attention. Their restraint signals importance. The Stoics understood this deeply. When you stop escaping silence, you stop escaping yourself. In that stillness, you confront your thoughts, your insecurities, your impulses, and once you are at ease there, you no longer need constant noise to prove your worth. The fifth phrase may seem simple, yet it carries uncommon depth. I appreciate you. This goes beyond a casual thank you. Gratitude often focuses on the favor that was done. Appreciation recognizes the person behind the action. It communicates, I see your integrity. I notice your consistency. I value who you are. Use it intentionally when someone demonstrates reliability, kindness, loyalty, or quiet strength. Do not overuse it. Let it remain genuine. In a culture obsessed with output and efficiency, choosing to acknowledge character instead of productivity makes you stand out. You become someone who recognizes humanity, not just results. That leaves a lasting impression. The sixth word is perhaps the most uncomfortable, yet it is the one that protects everything else. No. People constantly request your time, your focus, your emotional energy. Many say yes automatically, driven by guilt, routine, or the fear of disappointing others. But every unnecessary yes drains something essential. It steals from your clarity, your priorities, your peace of mind. When you decline what does not align with your values, you are not being selfish, you are being disciplined. Notice how someone grounded delivers a refusal. They take a brief pause, they consider carefully. If the answer is no, they express it calmly and without over-explaining. No defensiveness, no elaborate justifications. When your no is honest, your yes gains weight. Clear boundaries do not repel the right people. They attract those who respect your standards. All six of these expressions function effectively because they come from authenticity, not theatrics. They are rooted in presence. Be genuinely curious enough to listen without interrupting. Be humble enough to admit uncertainty. Be compassionate enough to acknowledge someone's struggle. Be steady enough to embrace quiet moments. Be attentive enough to recognize others' qualities. Be firm enough to guard your time and energy. Influence is not built by adding layers of performance. It is built by removing what is unnecessary, excessive chatter, the urge to impress, the anxiety of rejection. When you stop trying to entertain, people stop evaluating your act and start recognizing your character. If this perspective reshapes the way you approach communication, support the journey by liking this video and subscribing to Stoic Thoughts so we can continue developing calm strength and disciplined awareness together, step by step, and share your reflection in the comments. Which of these six will you put into practice over the next 24 hours? Tell me more about that. I do not know. That sounds difficult. Silence. I appreciate you. Or no. Select one, apply it with intention, and observe how interactions transform when your words finally carry true weight.